Okay, hello. So this video is going to be about building wealth and getting out of debt. Um, this is an introduction about what I'm going to be going over. You know, I was thinking that I was going to wait a little while to do this video, but after I thought about things and things that some people faced, things of that nature, I decided, you know what, right now would probably be a good time to go over these things. So, what am I going to be covering? My next video is going to talk about the beginning stages, why you should probably do a budget, if you're in debt, what are the first actions and steps that I need to get out of debt. Um, I'll talk about reduced spending, um, and then I'll even cover aspects with people who are on disability. And if you are on disability, please consult with some people, because if what you're gonna pay from, because I know, just like you, um, I have bipolar anxiety and PTSD. I'm on disability, SSDI, but I know both SSDI and SSI. And the actual technical terms, to not what, because a lot of people don't know the difference between the two. I'm very clear on the difference between the two. Um, so I'm gonna talk about, also for you, how you can maneuver things, and because I've been there, I've won cases in court. Well, I wouldn't say won cases. I had cases dropped, and I know how to get them dropped. If you're in the state of Texas, a lot of things has to do, also too, with the state you're in, and I'll tell you that I've even won one case against a credit union that didn't have to do with debt. It had to do with an overdraft fee that they refused to give me back when they didn't do it, and I'll probably go over something like that. How you can challenge banks, because I don't know if a lot of people know how to challenge banks, or the right path to challenge banks. Um, and I was so happy when I did that too. When I got my credit back, they actually sent the letter to everybody, in that little message thing saying, like, make sure you get your deposit in by 7 or something like that. But it was a awesome feeling. Uh, so I'm gonna talk about that, and if you are on disability, please consult with some people, know your state laws, and read 42 United States Code, Section 407, and even though in a later video I'll go over this in a lot more detail, what that basically states is okay, for one, you don't owe anybody anything if you're disabled and you're on these disability programs. Especially if you had to wait the 2 years before you receive the disability and you're already stuck in a bunch of debt, because I know what that was like too. I mean, if you can pay it off, that's good, and the main reason why is because it's going to be on your credit history for a while. Um, if you can't, because you need the money because you're disabled, you need to get your medications and you need to live, and I don't know how much you're getting, so I mean, and most of the time it's not that much, so you need it to live, and you're getting tired of being harassed by these debtors, these collectors. I will, explain some things that you might do. I'm not saying that everything I'm doing will work for you, because each state is different. And this is if you live in America, with the debt part, with the building wealth part, that could go for anywhere. Um, It depends on what state you're in, and always call and check with people if you're not for sure. If you want to, you can check with me. I'm I can give you advice, but yeah, I can, not legal advice, but I mean I can tell you how to get in communication with the right people who can lead you in the right steps if you're having trouble with something, because people who are disabled, you just need to relax as much as possible. You don't need this anxiety in your life. And and I'll put the United States Code in the description. That way you can look at it and look at the surroundings of it. And when I cover this section, I'll go through it, like I said, in more detail. And then, yeah, I mean, I was, yeah, I've been in debt 2 times in my life. That 3rd time, I'm looking good. Things are starting to go my way. But most of it had to do with disability. Like, in my younger days, in my early 20s, I spent about, 5 years being switched in and out of depression medications until I took them all. And that's when they decided that I was finally bipolar. And that had a lot of major consequences of my life. I dropped out of school. And lost jobs, a lot of things. And then a little bit later on, not too long ago, that's when the PTSD and the anxiety issue was added on there, and that made me go backwards. Not as bad as I would say as my early 20s, but it did make me go backwards because it cut my income in half. And when you're used to a certain income and you kind of like do everything knowing that you got it that way, and then your income gets cut in half, just a lot of weird things happen. And so I've been there, I understand it, and I would like to give you some guidance. I'm not like a certified expert, but I've lived through it, and this is my experience with it. So consider my advice, and if you have to consult anybody, or if you recognize that there's something that what I'm talking about that I did that you might be able to do, give it a try. I'm not going to tell you to do anything illegal. All this stuff is legal. And then I'm going to be going over another thing is kind of like, because there's a lot of discussions and people, I would not say like, I don't know whether it's communication or understanding, but they're really confused about political systems, and so I'm going to try my best to explain that. And the main, like, between the fiat system, socialism, and, capitalism, things of that nature. And at the end of this, I'm going to say what I would like to see the world go into. I don't think it's going to quite happen because we're not spiritually ready for it yet. But I'm going to talk about it anyways. Hopefully, get the idea out there. It's a possibility. Anything's always possible. But when people think of socialism, they go to like the dictionary of all places to define it. Now, the dictionary's okay to an extent, but what people need to understand is that there's more to a word than what it says in the dictionary. There's legal dictionaries. There's words in legal terms that have, a legal dictionary thing, but and then there's economic dictionaries. You don't really want to resort to a dictionary to explain to you an economic term. You want to look at the economics of it, and kind of like government dictionaries as too. You want to be able to kind of do all those things. Then, because a lot of there's the history to the word, there's the meaning and the way that it was told, and then there's kind of like what people visualize it as is like a commonality, and what you may perceive it is not what another person perceives it is, and they'll take advantage of your naiveness and manipulate you into believing that it's kumbaya. And so I'm gonna I'm gonna shed some light on a lot of that topic. What else? Explain. Oh yeah. And another thing, this, even though I got degrees and everything like that, when I speak, I'm speaking my opinions. I'm not saying it's actual fact, or like it has to be. Well, I mean, a lot of things I say are fact, but I'm not trying to say that this is how you gotta be. I'm just giving my best perspective, my best advice, my best experience. And you are your own person. Be your own person. You know, you have a lot of information, a lot of resources, you know, coming in, coming out. Make your own opinion about things. And then okay, and then so I'm gonna end this video here. I don't know when the next part of this part is gonna come out, but I'm gonna talk a lot about those systems, debt, government, financial, everything. So have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Alright.